Good blessed Tuesday evening, November the 2nd, 2021. It's about 5:47 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter whether you the proclaimed toughest or the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. I have a few. Especially, well, I'll just leave that alone. God will deal with those that I don't know of and those that I do know of. But what I want to come today is, this evening is, God keep giving me some things showing that the police have something to do. Carbondale police have something to do with my son's death. Maybe some of their snitches and a few other people. I've showed you all in some of my YouTube videos when I've been studying all of this information that they sent me. Some of them don't even have times, but this is kind of critical here. I want y'all to listen real closely because this was one of the last times that I actually seen a video with my son alive. And it was on the same day that they said they found him hung. And according to this that I'm going to show on this video on my computer, a lady captured it on her doorbell camera. His voice and his pictures. In his motion moving, and you're going to see the time on there, which would be, I believe, 00:22 a.m. In other words, 22 minutes after 12 midnight on the 19th of March 2021. Now, I want to tell you something first. Me and my youngest daughter, my young investigator, my young CSI, you see what I'm saying? My young scientist, my youngest child, my youngest daughter, me and her was invited to an event in Carbondale, Illinois on Sunday, October the 31st, 2021 on Halloween. The event actually started about 3 o'clock. So once we located where we was going to be at in the park, we knew we wasn't too far away from where these people said, the police said that my son was at somebody's door ringing their doorbell. And I want to tell you what the lady, show you how God worked. When me and my daughter came to the address where it was at, I'm not going to say the address, but we went down to the dead end where the house was at that my son was ringing the doorbell a little bit after midnight. And a lady was getting ready to go in there. And I said, "Excuse me, ma'am." I said, I come in peace. I don't want you to be afraid of me. Can I talk to you for a minute? And I had my hands like this here. Hands up, don't shoot. And she said, "Sure." She stood by a door and I stayed in my truck. And I'm sure her doorbell thing probably got me sitting there. And it says what I was saying in case they said I was trespassing or intimidating the lady. But I told her, I said, my son was found hung back in March. And I said, the police have your doorbell camera showing him knocking at your door. This is what she told me. Matter of fact, I'm not going to even say what she told me first. I'm going to let one of my scientists tell me that was there. When I asked the lady about my son being at her door, what did she say she was doing at that time?
She said she was asleep.
Say it a little bit louder.
She said she was asleep.
She said she was asleep. So if you were asleep, you know nothing about somebody being at your door at 22 minutes after midnight. You see what I'm saying? The only one could really tell besides you, you would have to call the police. But then I got a report here. It's called offense/incident report from the Carbondale Police Department. And it's from a policeman by the name of Jeremy Stewart. Now, Jeremy Stewart, they got it documented now. You remember the lady said she was asleep, but some reason she couldn't have been asleep, or somebody did something to my son after he left from her door, because she said she didn't say nothing. Another thing she said what he was doing, I don't know if you remember what she when I asked her what she was he doing something or talking to somebody. Do you remember?
She said he was talking to talking to himself.
Talking to himself. And I said, because we can hear, and I want you all to listen to it. You can hear somebody else's voice speaking other than my son's voice when he left this lady's door. But now, at the same time now, do you remember what this lady told me that he had? Now, she was asleep. But you remember what she said he had in his hand?
A machete.
You got to say it louder.
A machete.
A machete. This is not a machete. Do you know what this is?
An axe.
An axe or some other name for it?
Hatchet.
Hatchet. There you go. That's my scientist. Now, this is something like it looked like what my son had in his hand. And then, now, I'm going to read what this police says. You listen what this lady told me and my scientist, and then you look at this. Now, this report here, this said the incident happened at 22 minutes after 12 midnight on the 19th. My son was allegedly found not too far away from there, not even 400, I think, feet away from that house that he's caught on camera in. He was found hung, lynched in an apartment building. But let's look at this here now. The date of the report, March the 19th, 2021. Okay, miscellaneous incident. Now, then it said, let me see. Oh, it's ready for records. Now, it say the offense occurred on 3/19/2021 at 0040 hours. In other words, it's supposed to happen on March the 19th, 2021 at 40 minutes after midnight. This gonna tell you something totally different. It's gonna break it down at least about 18 minutes. You see, these don't lie. These do. Especially when corrupted police is putting it together and they talking to witnesses to put things together. But this is the time that they said it occurred. 3/19/21, 0040. All right. Now, let's go here. It say dispatch information. Now, the dispatcher information said received date and time. The dispatcher, according to this report by Jeremy Stewart, who responded to this lady's house, who told me something kind of different. But anyway, it said it was dispatched at the dispatch received the call at 3/19/21 at 0040 hours. In other words, at 40 minutes after midnight on March the 19th. Now let's go over here where it says the dispatch received the call. Now, dispatched it. In other words, the dispatchers undispatched it somebody. Dispatched the time and date. Dispatches at 3/19/21 0043. Dispatched it 3 minutes later. I guess the dispatcher probably was eating something that it took 3 minutes to dispatch this car, or they didn't have nobody available, one of the two. Now, remember, the call came in at the offense happened at 40 minutes after. The dispatch received the call 40 minutes after, midnight that is. The dispatcher dispatched the officer at 43 minutes after. The call dispatched it as suspicious. The time of arrival. The officer arrived on March the 19th, 2021 at 47 minutes after. Okay? The officer departed the area at 58 minutes after midnight. Now y'all got all them numbers together. Keep them numbers together. Write them down. We gonna do some math and science here. Now, listen to this report. Now, on March the 19th, 2021, at approximately 0040 hours, y'all know that's after midnight on March the 19th, Officer J. Stewart was dispatched to blank in reference to a suspicious person. So far, we're dealing with something, kind of right, with the exception of the time, 18 minutes off. When I arrived, I spoke with the resident blank, advised that at approximately 00, now, they said it occurred at 40 minutes after. But now look, blank advised that at approximately 0030, now 10 minutes earlier than they said it occurred. Maybe she dreamed this stuff up, but we know he was there, but the times. Now, she said at approximately 0030, at 12:30 midnight, at midnight hours, a black male knocked on her door. She did not answer the door, but observed her security cameras. She was asleep, she told me and my scientist, but observed her security cameras after he left. But she was asleep now. That's what she told us. The male knocked on the door and states, "Excuse me, ma'am." We know that. We know that because we seen this here. "Excuse me, ma'am, it's very urgent." The male entered from her backyard and immediately approached the front door. He then walks westbound after a few seconds of no one answering the door. I searched it. Look, I'm assuming it's the police now. I searched the area and did not locate the male. Now listen to this good. See, this female thought it was somebody else. She must have had a problem with another black guy. That she didn't think it was my son, but she thought it was somebody else. Listen to this real good. Blank had told me about ongoing problems with a neighbor. We know my son ain't a neighbor, so it must be a black neighbor. Her neighbor, blank, who is currently in jail, that resides blank, probably next door, I don't know. The male in the video appeared to be blank, longtime boyfriend, but I could not positively identify it as him in the video. Now she don't know if that was my son or this neighbor of hers. He had to be black because I know she could see he was black. But now listen to this here. Hours later, blank contacted, she contacted Carbondale Police Department to advise she had positively identified blank from previous incidents caught on surveillance cameras. Now. She also emailed me 2 videos of tonight's incident. In the video, blank can see to blank can be seen holding down. Listen to this here. Holding down to his side in approximately 1 foot bladed knife type object as he is knocking on the door. 1 foot now. This may be 1 foot or a little bit longer, but we know this ain't. And we know this is not a machete. A machete is like what this lady said, and it seemed more so like what they got their story together, because he said a long bladed knife. But anyway, let me get this here. Okay. Knocking on the lady's door. I returned. Let me make sure his can be seen holding down to his side in approximately foot-long bladed knife-type object as he knocked on the door. He returned to speak with blank. Oh, I returned. The police. I returned to speak with blank, where she requested a ban notice to be filled out for blank. It was completed, but I was unable to make contact with blank. I placed it on the briefing room desk to be served on him when we are able to make contact. I requested this case be forwarded to blank blank, advised in email and already been sent to blank in reference to this incident. I forwarded the 2 emails containing the surveillance videos to Officer Mooney. Mooney is the CSI personnel lady who didn't get the money out of my, after the coroner took the money out of my son's hand that had blood on it, but instead the deputy coroner, that's not a doctor, a medical doctor, he put the money in the body bag. But a real CSI would have got that. She got his gym shoe, but she didn't even get his pants. She said he got the gym shoe because he had a spot of blood on it. But he had a spot of blood on his pants, the front part, and by his back pocket. If she was doing her job, she would have seen that and got his pants. But Mooney, he gave the video off to Officer Mooney to be placed into evidence. Now they got the video and the evidence, but then we gonna leave that alone. But now you see, these times is really crucial. And when you look at the video, you'll see my son with the hatchet, I believe, that he had. It's light brown and it looked brand new. But where the white female found it at, and then he had it like this here. We know this blade is nowhere near a foot long. This may be. And he said a blade type knife, and the lady said a machete. See, when the police must have told her a long knife, and so he looked at it, she looked at it as being, she said a machete. Now, let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
I want y'all to look at these time. Y'all see that time? March the 19th, 2021, it was started at 22. Now look, you can see the stick, but you don't see no machete nor no foot-long blade. And you see the time? Now, she done heard this before it even started. She heard it at 12:30. She heard it at 12:30, but it ain't even started yet. You see what I'm saying? They got the call at 12:40, they said. Now, listen real good, because I'm going to play it one more time, and I want you to, she said she didn't answer, but listen and see if you hear somebody else. Now, you can hear somebody else, can't you? We gonna try it one more time. Y'all see the machete? Let me know. In the foot-long blade. You can see my son is afraid. Somebody at him.
Excuse me. It's very urgent, man.
My son don't look suicidal right now, do it, y'all? The same day that hours later, he found hung. He probably got that axe in his hand because somebody at him.
Yes, John.
But now the same thing, that axe that you just seen, y'all remember when the white female said she found it at the tip of it. All of this here from here all the way to here had duct tape on it. This part here, about this much, you can see what you seen on here, the light brown. You see what I'm saying? If any of y'all wondering, I ain't stole this from the evidence. This something my grandmother had when before she passed down here, when they was burning them crosses. She taught me and some of my other siblings, and I taught my 2 daughters how to throw this here and put it in the tree in case they come try to burn a cross down here. You see what I'm saying? We gonna nail them to the cross. You know, no, we ain't, y'all. We gonna dial 911. But this is what I'm gonna show you now. How did my son? How was he suicidal? He took the machete that the lady said he had. The police said it was a foot-long blade-like type knife. This what you seen, but he took time out, so they gonna say, tape it all the way up to here. I guess he run out of duct tape. Take his sweater and his shirt off, put it on the 3rd floor by this one white female's house in the 400 block of Sycamore. Go down to the 2nd floor and decide to take his mask off and just lay it there. Go down to the 1st floor, bust out the fire extinguisher box. You see what I'm saying? And take the fire extinguisher with him, but then the fire extinguisher and the axe in his hand at the same time. I guess he had too much stuff in his hand, so he know he finna go around the corner, so they say, to the 400 block of Oakland, but he gonna lay this here down real neat on the side of the building, on the Sycamore side, and then go around to the north side to Oakland Street, then go all the way upstairs. And wait this, after he tied his belt, he balls his hand up with money in it, and he, I don't know if they saying he jumped or he just lowered himself down. But if you seen where that railing is at, it would be almost impossible, a slim to none, for a person to be able to hold on to that without falling. And short as the belt was. But then when he died, his arm is like this in between the bars, balled like this. The pathologist said maybe he was trying to grab hold to the pedal of the bike. How you gonna grab hold of the pedal with the bike? Is his hand like one of the superheroes, metal? Then this one here, holding on to the other side in a cut right here, all the way down to the tendons, but there's only 1 drop of blood on one of his gym shoes, a drop of blood on the front of his pants, a drop of blood on the back of his pants, then a couple of drops of blood on the top where the fire extinguisher was found. But then if the girl had the clothes in her house, you would have thought the CSI lady would have tried to get some DNA. They ain't trying to get no DNA. You know why? Because the police is in on it. But we closing in. Peace be still.